This is an expanded version of the infrastructure portion of the medium-term public investment program. The financing scheme comes from public and private sector sources, ODA loans, the GAA, the public-private partnership or joint venture, corporate funds, proceeds accruing from those mandated by law like EPIRA, and NG-LGU cost sharing. Thus, our contingency measures involve you, the LGUs. Kaya, yung sinabi ni Ben-Hur kanina, yung resolution ninyo tungkol sa census, Nonoy Anday is still abroad, on the way back from the IMF World Bank meeting in Washington, and I understand the IMF also had very good words for our being able to weather the global credit crunch relatively well. But he's a lawyer, so it's good. I'll take it up with him and ask him if it can be done. Samantala, tuloy-tuloy na naibibigay ng buo ang inyong mga IRA. At aasahan natin gagamitin ninyo ito upang maibsan ang kahirapan. At sana, although we will not touch any purely locally government funded project because you have local autonomy, sana yung inyong development fund ay magamit para sa infrastruktura na pinag-uusapan natin, yung NG-LGU partnership. Part of the contingency plan is a labor contingency plan. And this includes an expatriate labor support fund, expatriate livelihood support fund. Kasi sabi ng isang kilalang OFW, hindi naman si June Palafox, no, one of the top architects in the world who does a lot of work in Dubai. Sabi niya dapat tinatawag ng ating mga OFW, hindi OFW kundi expats, because the bulk of them are professionals and skilled workers. They shouldn't be called OFW because that gives them a lower salary. But if you call them expat, psychologically they get a higher salary. So we have this expat livelihood support fund to serve as buffer fund that Filipino expats that may be displaced by the global economic meltdown can access. It can serve as a counterpart fund for returning expats' livelihood progress. The details will be fleshed out by DOLE and will be presented in another event. The last few weeks have revealed that the world needs more than confidence. Just as we had structural reform when times were better, the world also needs structural reform and global cooperation. That's why I have called for a meeting of the ASEAN Plus 3 next week, when we have our ASEM, the Asia-Europe meeting in Beijing. It's a parallel initiative to what the leaders of the G7 have undertaken. President Sarkozy was able to call that meeting because he is the president of the European Union. Now, we are no longer chairman of ASEAN this year. The chairman is Thailand, so I have made a proposal to Thailand to call a parallel meeting in Beijing. Per my instruction also, in Washington last October 11, Secretary Gary Teves, who is there with Nonoy Andaya in the IMF World Bank meeting, met the ASEAN Plus 3 finance ministers and their representatives, together with the World Bank, the IMF, and the ADB senior officials. And this is a very important result. They reached an understanding to establish a standby facility to assist ASEAN countries who have severe liquidity problems. Thank God we're not one of them yet. The facility can also be used to purchase what the bankers call toxic assets and recapitalize troubled financial institutions and private companies. The ASEAN Plus 3 members and the multilaterals welcomed our initiative, not only in providing access to financing, but also more importantly, in boosting confidence in the ASEAN economies. The World Bank and the IMF will draft the implementing mechanism as soon as possible, in consultation with ASEAN finance ministers and central bank governors. Immediately thereafter, they will convene another meeting to discuss the guidelines for the facility, which we suggested should be quick disbursing with minimal conditionalities. And another very important element here, the World Bank indicated that it could initially commit to $10 billion as its contribution to the standby facility. Hopefully, the IMF, ADB, Japan, China, and the rest of ASEAN will contribute an equivalent or even larger amount. I'm also calling on the G7 countries when we meet together with them in Beijing next week to consider the emerging economies in the bold actions and ordinary measures that they plan to undertake to ease the crisis in the global financial system. At sa gitna nitong unos sa pandaigdigang ekonomiya, dito naman sa ating bansa, ipagpapatuloy natin ang mga programang pinakamabisa sa paglaban sa kahirapan at kagutuman, sapagkat ito rin ang magsisilbing kalasag natin sa pandaigdigang krisis. So I thank you again for pointing out in your discussions that political grandstanding, as you said in your resolution, should take a back seat to the pressing tasks we must carry out in order to reduce the impact of the global credit crunch. And I thank you once again for leading by example in setting aside political bickering and posturing and uniting to make our country and your jurisdictions move forward. I'd like to congratulate Mayor Lawrence Cruz and Vice Mayor Henry Lim for the Supreme Court decision on the case that you filed. We respect the position of the Supreme Court on that matter. After all, and I think Lawrence knows this, many times I have publicly announced that no matter what the Supreme Court ultimately decides, the government will not sign the proposed MOA. And I have also announced many times in public that we have refocused our peace talks from one centered on dialogues with rebels to one of authentic dialogues with the communities. And that disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration is the context of our engagement with all armed groups. Our LGUs are the front lines of the communities. So I ask our LGEs with jurisdiction over these communities covered by the dialogues to help us. I also ask you to help us ensure that no one will take undue advantage of the verdict that would lead to the deterioration of the situation on the ground and that would pull the nation further apart. And as you have united, I know you have the capability to help unite our country as a whole. In the light of everything we need to do, I look to you, our local government executives, to be frontline examples of good governance. And I look to you to continue to be a bastion of support. Once again, congratulations to our newly inducted officers at maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.